Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and today I have my 2025 journal lineup for you. I'm very excited for this year's lineup. I feel like I found what really works for me right now, what I really love right now, planning wise and also like memory keeping wise. Yeah, I just feel like this lineup is going to be really perfect for me this year, but we shall see. So let's get started. The first journal that I'll start with is my planner. So last year I was doing a week's journal by Aura Estelle, and I really liked it for the first half of the year, but then I decided to experiment a little bit in my bullet journal with vertical layouts for planning, and I just fell in love. I don't think I can go back, at least not for now. So this year for my planner, I got the Sterling Ink, the A5 Daily Full Year 2025 Planner. I am so excited for it. So I got this beautiful tweed cover. This was the only color that they had in the restock. And then I got the gold edges. And it is just so beautiful. It has yearly overview. You can write like appointments and stuff like that. And then it's got the monthlies. And then the daily pages. So for the first page of the month, I think I'll just kind of make a little mood board for the month, and then also maybe put in like a little area for goals, like maybe a little bucket list or something like that. I'll experiment with it a bit, but that's kind of what I'm thinking for the blank page at the start of the month. And then for the dailies, I have a very specific plan for how I'm going to set it up. I also got some really cute planner stamps to use to make setting up the dailies easier, and I am so excited. I think this is going to change my life for sure, definitely. And then I'll also be putting that journal into this little A5 by Verona cork leather cover that I have from when I used my Muji Weekly a couple years ago. So it'll fit perfectly in that. So I'll keep it nice and safe in there. And then my next journal I actually got to use in 2024, but it was kind of a rough start to the year, so I didn't end up journaling very much. So I never got started in this journal, and then I decided to just pick up an old vertical journal to use as my recap journal for the second half of the year, which I still need to catch up in, but that is a goal for January, so stay tuned for journaling catch up. But yeah, so this year I have the Aura Estelle Vertical Weekly Planner in this adorable teddy cover that I love so much. It is the complete weekly vertical planner. So this journal, it starts with a few blank pages. I don't really know if I'll do anything with that or not, but it has these undated monthly pages that I'm going to be doing my monthly highlights in. So like every day I'll choose a highlight and put it in there and then decorate the page. And then after every monthly, there's a blank spread. So I'll be doing monthly favorite spreads on those pages, which is going to be a lot of fun, I think. And then we have the vertical weekly spreads. So I'll be doing my weekly recaps on here like I do in my other vertical planner that I have currently. It'll just be a little bit of a different layout, a little bit smaller, but I'm excited to experiment with it. And then after every week, there's also a blank page. So then on the blank pages, I'm thinking of maybe doing little daily reflections. So like making a space for each day on this page and then just writing like a little blurb about the day, since the vertical recap is usually just little tiny bits of information about what I did today, but not necessarily how I was feeling and stuff like that. So maybe I could do that here, or I can make like a spread about the week. I'm not really sure. I think this page is something I'll experiment with as well. But yeah, so this is what I'm going to try to use for my recap journal. I'm very excited about it. The only thing I'm a little bit nervous about is that the paper is very thin, and that might drive me a little bit crazy. So I'm going to have to test some pens on there and see what works, if I can find something that doesn't have too much ghosting. Yeah, but it's worth a shot. I'm excited to try it. I'm excited to experiment with a different size vertical recap planner. I do really wish this was dated, but they didn't have any dated left last year when I bought it, and I didn't want to buy a dated one this year when I already had this one, so I'm just gonna use this one and go with it. But I think a dated might be good for me because it'll make me like hold me more accountable to wanting to fill out the pages, where this one I'm like, well, it's not dated, but I'm still gonna try to do it every single week. If I do fall behind, which I won't, that is a huge goal this year, is not to fall behind. But if I do, I'll just backlog it. I'm going to make sure I keep space for every week because I really would like to fill it completely within 1 year and not have it go over to the next year. I don't know. So yeah, that is my recap journal. And then finally, we have my memory keeping journal. So it is a traveler size notebook. This is a cover by Verona on Etsy. I really love their journals a lot, and I really want to get some more covers as well. I'm also going to decorate the front of this too later in this video, so stay tuned and I'll set up the first insert for this. So I decided to move to traveler size for my memory keeping because I've been in A5 notebook therapy or Archer and Olive journals for memory keeping for years, like 5 years or something, I'm not really sure. And there's just a couple things that I don't love about it. First of all is that the books get so thick that towards the end it's really hard to journal in, and then also the size. I find a lot of times with the A5 it can be really intimidating because I really hate writing a lot in my journals. I'm very self-conscious about my handwriting. I have very, very messy handwriting, which is another goal of mine. I really do want to work on my handwriting, but it isn't a top goal. It's not a top priority. But it is something I would eventually like to improve. But in general, I don't like writing as much in my journals. I like just adding little blurbs. And with the A5, I feel like there's so much space to fill that sometimes I feel forced to write a lot more than I want to. And it can also put me off from making spreads because it feels so much more intimidating with how big it is. The reason I went for something so big is because I really love taking photos. And so I like printing large photos that are like really high quality. So it's kind of like a photo album as well. But yeah, I think I could still do that. I can just use more than one spread for an event. I'll make it work. I'm sure it'll be okay. I'm really, really excited though. I think the smaller size and having the different inserts and it being much more portable is just going to make memory keeping so much more fun. And this was actually a change I wanted to make last year, but because of the reasons mentioned and then also just some stuff that I was going through in my personal life, memory keeping was not a high priority, so the journal didn't get filled up very quickly, so I wanted to try to fill it up more this year, so that way it didn't seem like I was wasting the journal. So I decided to put this off one more year, but I'm not putting it off anymore, even though the journal isn't completely full. I don't care. I'm moving on. So yeah, that is what I'm planning to do for my 2025 journal lineup. I also have my reading journal still. It's going to be in the same journal because I did not fill that up. Yeah, this year I only read 8 books. My goal was 24, but I'm still very proud of the 8 books. I also started like 10 other books and got pretty far into a few of them, but I'm really good at not finishing books, which is something I'm trying to work on. Unless like I really hate the book, then I need to learn how to let go of it as well. But yeah, I'm very proud of the 8 books because it is a big improvement for me. Usually I was reading like 2-3 books a year of nonfiction books. I always told myself that I just had a bad attention span. I wasn't very good at reading, but turns out the books I was reading just didn't keep me interested for long periods of time. And now that I've switched to fiction, mainly fantasy and sci-fi, it is a lot easier to keep my attention, turns out. So yeah, I was just reading the wrong genre for me. But yeah, so I'm proud of the improvements I made with reading, and I'm excited to make even more improvements this year. I'm again going for 24 books, and I know that probably seems like such a small goal for so many people, especially booktubers, and they're like hundreds of books each year. But for me, it would be really great, especially with how many other hobbies I have. I can't put that much time to reading, but a couple hours at night and maybe some more on the weekends is really all I can dedicate to reading. So yeah, hopefully I can do about 2 books a month. I think that would be really great. So yeah, I'll still continue on in that reading journal. And then I also want to catch up in my K-drama journal this year if I can. And then I also have music ranking journal, where I talk about and rank my favorite albums in there. I've only ever done it for one album, but I really want to put in more of my favorite albums this year. Yeah, those are all the journals that I will be using in 2025 for now. And let's go set up my TN.